Hey, shuckalugga kapow, how's it going, old schoolers? You're kicking it old school with Russell JS. I'm your host, Russell JS. I got another battle royale. Two live albums are going to duke it out. One is considered a masterpiece, and the other, well, it's kind of underrated, but you know what? It's a masterpiece to me. What am I talking about? Let me get my book here. Oh yeah, right here. Ted Nugent, Double Live Gonzo versus AC/DC. If you want blood, you got it. Now, back in the 1970s, hard rock and heavy metal was really coming into formation. I mean, you had bands, right after Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Alice Cooper, and Black Sabbath. You had all these bands coming from all over the place that were helping solidify and construct what would become heavy metal or hard rock. But right out of it all, the Thunder from Down Under, AC/DC, and of course the Nuge, the Motor City Madman, Uncle Ted, they just even helped it get harder. Once again, just like Blue Oyster Cult, like Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, and, Deep Purple, Hendrix, Blue Oyster Cult, Aerosmith, Kiss, and the list just uncontinuously goes on. A lot of bands that would come out of the 80s and the 90s would, again, cite all of it as major influences in their careers. I'm talking, ranging from, Iron Maiden to Van Halen to Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses, Metallica and Pantera, Nirvana, and Pearl Jam would all cite, some of them would cite some of these guys as major influences, and some of them wouldn't. And of course, the punk movement was big in the 70s, was getting big in the 70s too, which even helped even more because it helped rock fight that god-awful, disgusting disco menace. So, tonight we've got the Motor City Madman, Uncle Ted, the Nuge, Ted Nugent, Double Live Gonzo going up against AC/DC. If you want blood, you got it. And remember, if you're new to the channel, hit a like, subscribe, leave comments in the box down below. Ring that bell for notifications for future videos. Help build this channel up. Tell your friends, tell your family, like your mom and dad, your aunt, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, your brother, your sister, your cousins, your classmates, your coworkers, your roommates, anybody who's anybody that loves to kick it old school. Now I'm going to go ahead, before we get this going, I'm going to go take a puff of my vape. And I'm going to have to get a new one of these soon, because I dropped this and the top part busted. So now I got hair ties holding it up. And then I got to take a sip of my sweet tea. Love that sweet tea. And without further ado, let's see how these bad Oscars rank out, shall we? In the case of Ted Nugent, Double Live Gonzo versus AC/DC, If You Want Blood, You Got It. Let's see. Just What the Doctor Ordered versus Riff Raff. Riff Raff is an okay tune, but I'm going with the Nuge on that one. Wang Dang Sweet Poontang versus Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be. You know what? This was a hard decision, and I love them both, so they're both getting a point. Okay, Cat Scratch Fever versus Bad Boy Boogie. Cat Scratch Fever gets played to death on the radio, but I don't care if it gets played to death, because you know why? I do love that tune, and I love Bad Boy Boogie, and you know what? I'm giving them both a point here. Stormtroopin' versus the Jack. Stormtroopin' is not a bad tune. I enjoy it, but I enjoy the Jack way better. Hibernation versus Problem Child. Hibernation, again, is a great tune, but it can't compare to, in my opinion, it can't compare to Problem Child. Motor City Madhouse versus Whole Lotta Rosie. Wow. Yeah, this was a hard one too. Boy, this was really a hard one because I love both the tracks. I mean, 1 point for Nuge and another point for AC/DC. Oh boy, here's where it's gonna really be a, how about this? Stranglehold versus Rock and Roll Damnation. What can I say? I love them both, so they get a point. Gonzo versus High Voltage. Gonzo is okay, but it can't wipe the floor with High Voltage. Baby Please Don't Go versus Let There Be Rock. I mean, Baby Please Don't Go is an old blues number, but and ironically enough, it was covered by AC/DC off the 74 Jailbreak album or EP, whatever you want to call that. But it's a great jam. It's a great track, even the original. So I'm gonna go with both a point there. Yank Me, Crank Me versus Rocker. You know what? Rocker is great, but I'm going with Yank Me, Crank Me. And that's it for AC/DC. And then the last track is Great White Buffalo versus Nothing. And I really love Great White Buffalo. So now here's oh boy. I forgot to hold on a second. I'm going to bring a quarter. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I couldn't find a quarter, so I got a nice shiny dime here. So, I always feel may the best album win. I never leave it as a tie. So what it's going to come down to is heads, it's Ted Nugent, and tails, AC/DC. And this is going to be a stroke of fate. Luck of the draw right here. Stroke of fate. And the winner is... Taking a deep breath. And the winner is... Heads. Ted Nugent. They both got 8 points, and Ted Nugent won. Right there, here you have it. So, I love both these albums, both these live albums. Just so you know, just so we could go on record that, I don't hate either one. I love them both. So that way you don't have to be like, yeah, Ted Nugent, you don't like ACD. I mean, I love them both, but it's a stroke of fate, man. And you know what? I'm getting ready. I had to borrow a couple CDs because, some CDs I used to have, but I don't have them anymore because of certain circumstances, like turmoil with ex-girlfriends and things like that. Sometimes you have to get out of a bad situation. You got to leave things behind. So the next one, I borrowed 2 CDs of my favorite bands. The next one is going to be Ramones Leave Home versus the Misfits Walk Among Us. So I got to go ahead and, listen to both these albums and, compare who's going to win that one. And like I said, once again, I have other things boiling in the pot. I'm going to go ahead and look at some more albums and CDs that I have. Let's see if I can compare. And I'm going to be getting ready to set up another vacation time video, which will be 2000 to 2004. And then coming soon to a theater near you will be 2005 to 2009. So that's what's going to be going on. And remember, help me, if you're new to the channel, you know what to do if you like what you see. And, I just want to go ahead and conclude like I conclude with every video. Keep it real, keep it fresh, keep it chill. Keep listening to old school music, watch old school movies, watch old school TV shows, play old school video games. Keep it real, keep it fresh, keep it chill. You know, get you enough of love, get you enough of peace, get you enough of tranquility, get you enough of less chaos, less drama, no drama. And, you know, as always, your old pal Russell JS wishes you Godspeed. May the force be with you always. And shuckalugga kapow!